You know what I wanted to ask you?
Yes, what did you want to ask me?
All of these recipes, they talk about chilling things, and we talk a lot about refrigeration at the time. 1924, refrigerators were available, but not common. You were born in 1937, correct? Did you guys always have a refrigerator as far as you remember? Did your parents talk about ever not having refrigerators?
No.
Okay.
But I think they had ice boxes. And I still remember when I was young that the ice man would come down the street and you'd put a sign in the window how many pounds you wanted. You know, it was like
Really?
turned around, 4 pounds, 6 pounds, whatever, and you put the one at the top was what you wanted, and they would stop and deliver the ice.
Really? Even when you were growing up, like in the 40s still? Where did you put the ice?
In the ice box.
Oh, you still used an ice box?
We didn't.
Oh.
But, I mean, they would come down the street and people on the street had.
Okay. Hi friends, welcome back to the 52 Sunday Dinners Project. Today we're at week 23. If this is your first time watching, welcome. My name is Ashley. I'm a registered dietitian with a love for everything vintage and food. I've combined those two things to bring you this project here. We're taking this cookbook. This is the 52 Sunday Dinners cookbook from Women's World magazine in 1924. It goes week by week, and it gives a menu for every Sunday, and it keeps economy and seasonality in mind for these meals. On the menu for this week, we're starting off with a cold tomato soup. For our main course, we're going with a pressed chicken. On the side, we have several, including country fried potatoes and also string beans with bacon. For our salad course, we have sliced tomatoes and cucumbers. On top of that goes a vinaigrette dressing. For dessert, we have the choice of either chocolate pie or we could go with coconut puffs. As always, we're going to go with both because you can't go wrong with dessert. Now, normally this is where I say, of course we're having coffee, but we aren't. This week, we're going with lemonade. Now, if any of those things seem of interest to you, join me in the kitchen. We'll go ahead and try those. In the pot already, we have our onion, our celery tops, and our salt. We're gonna get our chicken in there, and I guess we'll just boil it. I don't know how long this is gonna take. We'll just keep monitoring it, and once all of that meat starts pulling away, it'll be done. I'm guessing a few hours. We'll see. The chicken has been separated. I think I got most of the skin and fat and gristle out. I hope so. And we have our hard-boiled eggs that I've peeled. We're just gonna go ahead and get those started in here. Our softened gelatin and our pint of hot broth. Just gonna break that gelatin up and then we'll add it in. Here's all of the ground chicken and eggs. All right, that looks pretty good. Salt, a little pepper, gelatin broth, get mixed in right here with our ground up chicken, an egg. We have our mold here wet with ice water. We're gonna go ahead and just get this pressed in there. This mold might be a little large for this. Let's get a smaller one actually. Much better. We have our little chicken brick here. We're gonna put it in the fridge overnight, let it cool, and unmold it tomorrow. Okay, let's see how this turned out. Will it even come out? There's gelatinous goo on the side, but it's not coming out. Let's scrape it down the sides. I think it's gonna work this time.
Oh, wow.
There we go. A brick of chicken. All right, here is the pressed chicken and my decorating skills with the stuffed olives, pickles, and hard-boiled eggs. I think it's gonna taste really good though. For our coconut puffs, which I think are basically exactly the same thing as the coconut macaroons we made the other day, we have our egg whites beaten stiff here. I have our coconut, our powdered sugar, and I have the flour in here as well. Now, you know, something I don't know if I've said out loud or not recently in these videos is, does anybody else think that their powdered sugar kind of tastes like perfume or something? I noticed when it's been for a while now, when I eat powdered sugar, to me it kind of tastes or feels like perfume. And I don't know if that's the process or if there's an agent, like an anti-caking agent or something in there, but does anybody else feel the same way about their powdered sugar? Maybe just the brand I'm using, or am I just kind of crazy? Or both? I don't know. As I was mixing this up, I thought, this texture just does not seem right. It seemed like that sugar was overwhelming the egg whites when I put it in, and I just thought, this is not, I don't think this recipe is right. And then I looked at the recipe and it is right. It's just that I didn't do it right. I doubled the amount of sugar. I did 2 cups of coconut and 2 cups of powdered sugar instead of 2 cups of coconut and 1 cup of powdered sugar. So we are going to double this recipe at this point since everything's already together. I whipped up 2 more egg whites, and I have another 2 cups of coconut that we're going to add to this mixture. For our soup, I'm making one little change here. Where it says to put a pint of water in, since we're currently boiling that chicken there, I'm actually going to use a cup of the chicken broth, water, stock, whatever you want to call it. It'll give this just a little bit more flavor than what we expected. For the spices in this, it says to use either cayenne, paprika, or white pepper, I believe. So instead of using just one of those, I did a little bit of each. We'll see how it turns out. And then we have our carrot, parsley. We did have enough celery to do the full cup, so that'll go in. And, of course, oh no! Don't send me into the hot tomatoes! Shut up, onion. We have our onion. Now we're gonna just boil this up for 3/4 of an hour, and we'll be back to strain it. All right, now it's time to strain this out, and I still have not found my food mill. It's somewhere packed away. I'm gonna find it eventually, probably once this project is over. So we're gonna go ahead just with our little mesh strainer, try and, I guess, just kind of strain this through, and we'll see what comes out the other end. We have our sugar, our grated unsweetened chocolate, and our flour in here. We're gonna add just a little bit of cold milk as it suggests to make a paste. Currently on the stove scalding is our other 2 cups of milk, and I have our yolks sitting here waiting as well. All right, I think that looks like a good enough paste. Let's get this paste into the milk. And we're gonna temper our egg yolks here. I believe that's probably the purpose of this. So get the tempered yolks back in here, cook it all up. I let this pudding sit overnight in the fridge to chill, hoping it would harden up, and it just hasn't. And I'm pretty sure we followed the directions exactly as they said, but there's no chance that this is going to go into a pie. So I'm considering what I should do. Should I add some cornstarch and reheat this with a little bit of like a cornstarch slurry? Should I add some gelatin to firm it up? I'm really not sure. I'm leaning toward gelatin just because I think it would be a very fun texture, and we're already doing this mold of the pressed chicken. I think it would be fun. But I'm gonna consider it for a few, I guess, a couple hours and decide what I want to do with this. Maybe look a few things up, and you're going to see it momentarily what my decision is, but I will be back to record this when I have decided. After looking up several different things online, I decided on gelatin for this, and I think it's worked out. It's not moving too much. It's pretty solid in there, so I think it'll hold its shape. Hopefully it also holds its shape once we put the meringue on top and put it in the oven. We're gonna get that going now. We have our egg whites with our powdered sugar to put on top of here. I probably should be piping this, I imagine, somehow, but we're gonna go ahead and just fluff it right on top. I don't know that I've actually ever done meringue on a pie in real life before. This might be, yeah, I think this is my first experience with meringue. With making a meringue pie, I should say. This is my first experience making a meringue pie. I have eaten them before, but never actually made one. That doesn't look too bad. Let's get in the oven. Finding this part a little bit odd, but we've kind of talked about this already. They do a lot of boiling instead of sauteing back in 1920s. So we have 3/4 of a pound of bacon here. We're gonna get it boiling up. Vinaigrette dressing. Now, instead of beating it all together with a whisk in a bowl, I like to just shake them up in a mason jar. I think it's much quicker, easier, more efficient that way. But we have all of our tablespoons of sour pickle, sweet pepper, and parsley. Go ahead and add our vinegar. I'm using cider vinegar for this. That's about 1/4 cup. And there we have it. There's your dressing. We've had this salad before, but I think the last time I made it, I forgot to scald and skin the tomatoes, if I am remembering correctly. I think we just did them straight up raw with the skin still on. So this time we'll be doing them correctly. This is a new way of doing potatoes for us. Usually it's kind of mashed or mashed in another way or mashed in another way. Or maybe we might have a sweet potato or something. So the country fried potatoes are a fun option this time. Since our country fried potatoes say to use bacon grease or whatever other type of grease or fat, we're gonna take the bacon grease right from the pot that we boiled the bacon in and put it into our cast iron to fry them up in. It's perfect. We're using our jadeite reamer this time. I think I'm using my jadeite reamer this time.
Okay.
We're having, you know, all these menus, they end with coffee. Except today, they end with a lemonade. So you're going to get fresh squeezed lemonade. You spoiled, spoiled lady. Mm-hmm. You do deserve to be spoiled. And, ooh, I'm not going to tell you what kind of simple syrup I'm using. I'll let you guess. A little tea strainer here to catch the seeds. We'll pour that right in our pitcher. Simple syrup here.
Oh.
Surprise! Look who I bribed into coming down to visit.
She did.
Do you want to... So I told Tori Nani was coming. Tori had to work. She couldn't be here. But Tori said, well, how in the world did you talk her into that? Because Nani's social calendar is so busy all the time, it takes months to get her to do some visiting. So I texted her this morning and said, "What are you doing?" And she's telling me she's so busy. And then I said, "Check your phone." And how did I get you here?
You had all the burdock waiting for me.
I had gone and found a patch of burdock that was ready, and we harvested it. And I sent the pictures to Nani that I'd harvested it for her, and suddenly she could make it down here. Excellent. Well, we lucked out in that. So Nani is going to help us try the food, and we're starting out with a cold tomato soup. So it's tomato soup, but it's cold.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Like a gazpacho almost.
Mm-hmm. It smells very much like tomato.
Mm-hmm. And I see you gave me the proper spoon.
Yes. She likes a big spoon. I like a little spoon. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
You taste anything in particular?
It tastes like a celery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And is there a basil in there?
No, there's a bay leaf. There's parsley.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I taste the celery actually even more than I taste the tomato.
Yeah, the celery is quite strong, but it's good.
You know, we could just add a dash of liquor in here and make it a Bloody Mary. That's kind of what it tastes like.
Okay, now. All right.
Ooh, I forgot to pour us our lemonade. But yeah, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is wonderful.
Perfect summer.
Yes.
Summer.
If it were very hot, today happens to be a very cool day comparatively. Normally it's been very hot the last week or two. Today is just more May weather.
I mean, it poured rain all the way down here. So.
That's true. But if it were very hot out, this would be so even more refreshing and wonderful.
I like the little soup dish.
Mm-hmm. Is that little bubble bowl adorable? I think these are berry bowls, I think, but they're just so cute.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're nice for soup.
I agree. And, well, you know, I was thinking this soup is, the recipe was definitely not enough for 6 people because for you and I, it's probably over half the soup. There's probably only enough for maybe 1.5 more bowls this size. So maybe either we were only supposed to get about half of this amount, maybe a few spoonfuls to start the meal off, or they just didn't calculate that ratio very well. I don't know.
Or their portions were much different than what we see today.
Yes, yeah. But
you have to give me this recipe, though.
Okay, I will do that. Watch the video. You can get the recipe.
Oh, I expect special treatment.
Does this picture look familiar?
Oh, yeah, it does. That was Ed Toots's.
This was your mother's.
Was my mother's?
Yeah. You told me it was your mother's.
Uh-oh.
It's a 1950s, I think.
Oh.
You know, the only issue with this is that this, whatever the splatter is on it, runs.
Really?
Yes. So there's black, always black. I have to be very careful about washing this. Let's cut into this sucker. They can watch us
beautiful.
cut into it.
It sort of reminds me the way we had the formed casserole that the night when they made that casserole at sausage and whatever when we were at the cooking school.
It's just a meatloaf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like any egg or pickle or olive?
Oh, a little of each.
Okay.
But I want a nice looking egg, not those little...
Excuse me, yes. You get the best egg. There you are.
Thank you.
And there's, if you see inside your little slice, there's also hard-boiled egg inside of the chicken mold.
Okay.
Don't eat it yet. Don't eat it yet. What are you doing? You have to wait.
The pickle.
All right, what are we starting with? Do you want to start with the green beans?
Yeah. Is that bacon in there?
That is bacon.
Yep.
And when you make, do you make bacon and green beans?
No.
Okay. When I make them, I saute the bacon first, and then I saute my beans in the bacon grease.
Yeah.
And cook them all together. This, you boiled it instead.
Oh, really? Because You know, when I make the endive
Mm-hmm.
with the bacon and the garlic, I saute the garlic and the
Mm-hmm.
and then the bacon first, and then that bacon grease, I put the endive.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get the full bacon taste.
No,
I find it bland.
I agree. I don't like it this way. I don't really see the point in the bacon this way.
Maybe they figure you boil all the grease away.
You do. You boil all the grease away, then you take and skim the grease and save it for another time.
Mm-hmm.
You boil the bacon first for like an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Then you take it out and then you boil the bacon and the green beans together again for like another hour.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
No, to me it's rather bland.
Yeah. It's a little boring. The potatoes smell very good.
Mm-hmm. They look good too.
Mm-hmm. I use the bacon grease that I skimmed off of the bacon water to fry these in.
Mm-hmm. Your grandfather always say, "Luella, I don't know what you would do if they hadn't invented the potato."
The potato?
Yeah.
I thought you meant the tomato.
Well, the tomato too, but the potato too.
Oh. You're a potato gal?
Mm-hmm.
So far, I think I like this potato recipe the best. Of all the recipes, maybe the potato recipes that we've had. I like the crunch in here.
That's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Did you boil them first, or?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
No, this is very tasty.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, this is good.
Isn't it tasty? Do you recognize any other flavor in there?
No.
I don't actually. The lemon has overpowered it. The simple syrup I used for this was an almond simple syrup.
Oh, no, I'm not getting an almond at all.
You're not getting an almond at all? Almond?
Sorry. Sorry.
All right, let's go for this chicken. Pressed chicken. I'll let them see what it looks like on the plate there. I smell the chicken. It smells good.
Mm-hmm. It's good, but I think we're used to more seasoning and things.
Mm-hmm. What about with the pickle?
I was just going to try that.
Or the olive?
It still needs a little more seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be because our palates are used to more seasoning now.
Oh, yeah, most certainly. You know,
it's tasty.
Mm-hmm. The texture is very different than what you're used to with chicken. However, for somebody with dysphagia, this is, I think, an excellent option to have chicken. I really like the presentation is a little bit odd at first, and maybe with the way that we decorated it is very old-fashioned and kind of unappetizing for how we view things today.
I didn't find it unappetizing. I found it very nice and very pretty. But I'm just saying, tasting the chicken itself, and probably this was healthier because we're used to more salt and.
Yeah, and this doesn't have. So you boil the chicken forever, and then you take the skin and the gristle and all of that out. So for the most part, this is mostly just chicken breast, skinless, boneless chicken breast, which maybe also there's not a lot of fat in here. It's just hard-boiled eggs, which, the yolks have fat.
Right.
But it's hard-boiled eggs, chicken breast, and some gelatin. That's all that's in here, really. I have to tell you a secret, though.
What?
You won't be surprised at this secret. I've already tried the macaroons.
Well,
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry, these are coconut puffs. The others that we had the other week were coconut macaroons. They're essentially the exact same recipe. What do you think? They smell delicious. Smell like coconut.
I'll have more than one.
If I do say so myself, I did a fabulous job on these.
You did?
And I read the recipe wrong, so I put...
What's no?
I put double the amount of sugar in, so then I just had to make a double batch. Whoopsie. Oh, no.
That was rather Freudian.
Would you pay money for those?
Are you charging me for this meal?
Yes, I have to calculate how much I think this costs, so you'll be getting a bill.
Okay.
Well, I like my lemonade sour. This is good. Well, are you ready for some chocolate pie?
Oh, this looks lovely.
Well, it does sort of look lovely. However, the original recipe, the pudding was not setting correctly. So I added gelatin to it. It set beautifully. Then I put the meringue on top. It said to put it in the oven. I did that. Then it turned into a soup again. And now it has re-chilled, but there's like this layer. I don't know if that's picking up on camera. There's a layer of water here. So I don't know how this is going to look.
Well, it seems to me that all of these recipes from 1924 did not set the way.
Yes.
Wonder what kind of trick they had for that.
I don't know. All right. This is looking like it's not going to come out well, but we'll see. Oh, it's...
Not bad.
Yeah. Oh, boy. There's a very, very distinct layer between, and you can kind of just slide this right off. You can see the water here. I'll take that one. Can you hear me? Look at this face staring me down. Go ahead and give me that look again. Look at her pushing that thing over to my side. Okay, what's your overall impression looking at it?
It looks good.
Okay.
Has a nice meringue on it. Tastes good.
It smells good. I can smell the chocolate in there. It's very hard to get on the fork. It does not want to stay on the fork.
As long as you get it in your mouth.
Yeah, the flavor is very nice. The texture is a little strange.
A little.
But not unpleasant. I think it's that...
The crust is good.
Yeah. The texture is like a hybrid of Jell-O and pudding. But it's not lumpy like all the other gelatin things I've made before. It's almost, like with the meringue too, it's almost foamy. Even the chocolate part is almost a little bit light and foamy with that gelatin in there. I did not expect that. It tastes like hot chocolate jelly.
I'm going to fall asleep after eating all this.
Yeah, and we have lemonade, no coffee to perk you up. Overall impression.
Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
You mean I was doing all that? I didn't realize it was on. Excuse me. They just flopped from boiling them. I mean, you boiled everything out.
Oh no, I forgot our salad course.
Oh dear.
Hold on, we have to rewind. I'm sorry, you can't give an impression without the salad. How did I forget that? Here is our salad, and instead of just we're all family here, we can share this, can't we?
I'm related to you.
I think you've cloned me. Or you've cloned you.
That's what your husband says.
Mm-hmm.
It looks interesting. What's on top of it?
That's the vinaigrette.
Oh, okay. But it looks like there's like a relish or something on top.
Yeah, the vinaigrette is bell pepper, pickle, parsley, oil, vinegar, probably some salt and pepper, paprika.
I'd like the vinaigrette. I think I would like just a little bit more on there.
Okay, here, have that bite with all those pickles. Got our tomato.
Mm-hmm.
You like that much better?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the tomato?
Well, it's not the fault of the tomato, which isn't a tomato up to, its standard.
Yeah, it's a little, probably a greenhouse hybrid.
Mm-hmm. But the vinaigrette tastes good on it. And
It's been scalded and skinned. So there's no skin on it. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think I've noticed too? Whenever I scald them and skin them, it's almost like they firm up a little bit instead of mushing down. Maybe I'm just imagining that. I don't know. But it seems it's firmer.
So.
Firmer. More firm? Which one?
Firmer is fine.
Okay. Or firmer.
The firmer from the farmer.
Oh, okay. Now give your overall impression.
As I said, I thought it was a well-balanced meal, even though we forgot the salad, but with the salad, it even gives it more perspective there. And the soup was just outstanding. I mean, there's nothing you could say with the soup. The potatoes were outstanding in that bacon grease. And I think that the chicken with some seasoning, I would eat it again.
Okay.
And the beans, no, I would never boil them. I'd boil bacon again.
Yes.
It was such a shame wasting those good beans. And then the dessert. Well, of course, I love coconut.
Yes.
And I love chocolate. So I enjoyed actually both desserts. Yeah. I said if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably take the coconut, just because I'm a coconut person.
Yes.
But I'm also a chocolate, and particularly a chocolate cream pie. I do like some.
What if we mix that chocolate cream pudding instead of with milk with coconut milk, or added shredded coconut to it?
Oh, that would probably be delicious. Yes. You would combine the two, and I wouldn't have to make a decision.
Yes. Now, for me, nutrition-wise, again, I agree. I think this was very well balanced. There were a lot of vegetables in this. Starting out with that cold tomato soup, it had all sorts of vegetables that were inside. And we move on. The chicken is very, very lean source of protein. With the eggs in it too, there's a good amount of choline in those egg yolks, so always happy to see that. The green beans with the bacon is another source of protein there. We've boiled a lot of the fat, not all of it, but a good bit of fat out of it. I liked the mostly raw, crunchy, cold tomato cucumber salad. And I like the juxtaposition there with a cold soup, a cold entree, hot sides, cold salad. Just the hot and cold of this was very interesting.
Perfect for summer.
Yes, yes. And the desserts, yes. Now, I wouldn't use the recipe for that chocolate pie overall again, but the base of it, if it could be improved upon, both were great.
The crust was great. The meringue was great. I mean,
yes.
The chocolate taste was good.
Yes.
I mean, it was runny. But as I say, nowadays you sort of like to make things easier for yourself and harder.
Yes. Oh, I forgot I'm doing the nutrition part. I started with nutrition and then went into just liking it. There's not a lot of nutrient density in our desserts, but they were soul food again.
I know, they keep you happy.
Yes. Cost-wise, this meal was a little more extensive. I think we had quite a few different things in this, and each thing had...
Well, you had 2 desserts, too, so you really can't count that.
Well, I'm counting it.
And I don't think that's unfair to the meal.
I'm talking to them. I'm not talking to you.
Well, I know, but I'm talking to you. I'm straightening you out.
Well, this meal for 6 people with an option for which dessert you want was a little more extensive. And again, if we're looking at 6 people, this is around $100. So not our most expensive, but certainly not our most economical either.
You got chicken broth out of the chicken, too.
Yeah, that's true. I did get chicken broth out of the chicken, which we are going to use a little later to make a separate dish for ourselves, not for this project. If you liked what you saw today, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel so you never miss a Sunday dinner. And if you'd like to join us next week, we'll be making a chocolate potato cake and strawberry tapioca.
I'll be over.
You'll be here? You've told them. Now you have to. You've said it. You have to come back now. You heard it here, folks.
My schedule.
Yes. Come back.
If you pick more burdock.
I could. I know where it's at. Did you guys always have cars as well?
Yeah.
Did your parents ever talk about not having... Did they talk about what it was like before?
Not really. My father, when we got married, had a 36 Ford. Mm-hmm. And that's what I remember as a little girl. And then I remember he bought a used car, 37 Studebaker.
Okay.
And so now, in 1945... it was 1945, because there was no such thing as an auto loan or anything like that. And they had saved up money to buy a new car.
Okay.
And so they're also, evidently, I'm thinking back at this, there must not have been health insurance. Mm-hmm. So I remember that I went in the hospital in October of 1945, and the money they saved for the car...
Oh.
Went to pay the hospital bill.
You're always a problem.
I know.
I'm glad you got better.
Yeah, then where would you be? You wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was born not too far from here. And we're talking about 1905, 6, something like that, 1905. And my mother's oldest sister would have to get up. It was still dark. And she would have to climb the top of the hill to go and get water and bring it down to the kitchen so that everybody could have before the men went off to work in the mines. Very difficult life.
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. I know. My uncle went to work in the mines when he was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
I know.